When it comes to our families, doesn't it seem like these days danger just seems to be all around us?
Yeah. Numbers from missingkids.com show about 800,000 children are reported missing each year in the U.S., but danger can come in many forms. More than 10,000 are taken to the ER for food choking related injuries, but you can use technology to be prepared and prevent a crisis.
That's right, and here are 3 tools to make you more safety savvy.
Apps and gadgets are everywhere, so why not use them to keep you and your family safe? To keep track of kids, try the Toddler Tag Child Locator. It clips to their belt loop. If they get lost, push a button and the gadget beeps up to 150 feet away. A new app from the ASPCA can protect your pets from harm. The app Petoxins warns you which backyard and household plants are toxic to animals. It's less than $3 and can help you avoid a trip to the vet. Be prepared in a crisis with the free American Red Cross SOS app. Dr. Oz's voice explains step by step how to perform CPR, the Heimlich maneuver, and more. Just a few tips that could save you and your family from disaster.
And those who love camping or hiking may want to try the app Army Survival. It has tips on first aid, tying knots, finding shelter, and dealing with dangerous animals.
Now, there is another app designed to keep your family safe, and it's the first of its kind. It's called Operation Predator. Launched by the Department of Homeland Security, people who download it receive alerts about wanted predators. Now, the hope is that they will then share that information via email and social media. They can also call in or submit online tips to Homeland Security. The app also allows users to view news about arrests and prosecutions of child predators.
And it's just another tool in the fight against child exploitation, a problem that impacts so many of our children. And studies from the Crimes Against Children Research Center show 1 in 5 girls is a victim of child sexual abuse, while 1 in 20 boys is a victim.
However, experts say these numbers are difficult to determine because child sexual abuse is not often reported. In fact, they're afraid that the numbers are much higher.
And it's something so many of us fear, our children becoming a victim of a horrible crime like this. Joining us today to tell us more about keeping our kids safe is Lieutenant Tim Robinson with the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me here today.
You know, Lieutenant, it's interesting because it's so scary, sexual crimes that go on, and these statistics are just, they take your breath away. And what's worse is a lot of times it's by people who know the victim.
Yes, unfortunately, 75% of all victims are victimized by someone they know, whether it's a family member, a coach, a youth leader, or a neighborhood friend. Yes, 75% are people that they know.
And one of the things it seems that the predator manages to do is to get the kids to not say anything. Is there something we can do to get around that?
Well, a lot of it is getting the kids to open up. There will be first a fear that, hey, I'm a victim, but I've done something wrong, or I've invited this in on myself. And there's going to be a feeling of shame. Yeah. There's also going to be a feel of fear that if I do report this, and this individual is going to be more upset with me, or they're going to take it out on possibly my siblings or my friends or other family members.
Is there a way to get them over that fear?
Really, the best thing to do is talk to your kids, have that conversation with the kids, and get them to open up and let them know that if something seems not quite right, to share it with their parents.
All right. Do you have any idea how many child predators there currently are on Delmarva?
Right now, on the whole Delmarva Peninsula, we have a little over 600 that are here. Reason we know that number is because they're required to register with their local law enforcement as a potential sexual predator.
So how does the Sheriff's Department track the predators?
Well, we track them in several different ways. One, if they are required to register because of their conviction, they have to come into our office. Sometimes they're required to register for a 10-year period, a 15-year period, or sometimes even for life. Mm-hmm. We have staff on the Sheriff's Office that their main job is solely to focus on sex offenders and keeping our community safe. Wow. They go out and do compliance checks to make sure they're working where they said they're working, to make sure they live where they say they're living, right, and to make sure they're not doing anything that would otherwise make them not compliant with the restrictions of their probation or the laws that are governing how they're supposed to act as a convicted sex offender.
Right.
And if they don't comply with all of that, they're arrested, correct?
Yes, they can be arrested, and our unit that follows these individuals will arrest them very quickly.
So is there a way that we can track sexual predators?
Yes, right. We have something in place. We use a system called Offender Watch, and anybody can sign up for it. There's a link to it through the Wicomico Sheriff's Office website, and once they go to that web page, they can put in their address. It'll tell them who is living around them, that is a potential registered sex offender or a potential predator. They can also track a specific individual if there's somebody they have a particular interest in, and it will also give them updates when new sex offenders or predators register here in Wicomico County, or when there's something that we think we need them to know about.
Right, knowledge is key. Now, moments ago we talked about the new smartphone app called Operation Predator. How does technology like this help?
It's only going to help. It's not going to hurt. We're revolutionizing how we deal with the public. Traditional means are changing, and we're now embracing things like Facebook and Twitter to get messages out in an instantaneous fashion.
Okay, so we're talking about this after the fact. Okay. Is there anything we can do before the fact to help prevent something like this?
Yes. The big thing we tell our kids, or tell our parents to tell their kids, is get involved with their life. Know who they're hanging out with, know who they're communicating with, know who they're talking to online,
right.
Know who they're texting to, know who their Facebook friends are, know who they're tweeting with, know who they're Instagramming with. Just being involved in their life, and create some guidelines on where they can go, what time they have to be home, how they have to notify, I'm getting a ride home from so-and-so. Be involved in their life. Right. And it's not because you want to be mean to the kids, you're doing it because you love them.
That's right. Lieutenant, thank you so much. Such good information.
Well, thank you very much.
All of us parents should have. And then if you'd like more information on how to keep your kids safe, including a link to download the Operation Predator app or the Sex Offender Registry search, go to delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab.
Okay, so we talked about protecting our family. Now we're going to talk about home. Still ahead on Delmarva Life, a lot of insects and vermin are trying to get their way in this time of year. From mice to camel crickets and even fleas, how to tell if they're in your home and what you can do about it.
And staying at home, we're headed to the kitchen a little later to celebrate apples and scrapple. See what sweet treat we're making ahead of this weekend's Apple Scrapple Festival. Delmarva Life, we'll be right back.